Hello, everyone. My name is Ricardo. I am from Red Hat as well. And I am working as the release manager for the 1.10 release, and I'll work with the 1.9 as well. And I'm here along with Valentina. Well, I think you already introduced herself, but you can do this again.
Valentina from Red Hat. I'm a principal architect. I also contribute to Kubeflow. We can go to next slide. I'm part of the current release management team, but also I will be the next release manager for Kubeflow 1.11. I'm also a project contributor. So, yeah.
All right, guys. So let's start talking about Kubeflow. And, well, as you might know, Kubeflow has a really good history. So today, in our agenda, we'll talk about the last and current releases, a little bit about website updates, the release process updates, and also discuss about the Kubeflow roadmap for the next releases. Today, our community engaged around 8K contributors, and we got 14K GitHub stars the last time I saw it. So Kubeflow has a good history, you know. Since it was introduced in 2018 by Google and then donated to CNCF in 2022, we got a lot of things. We achieved a lot of things, and this is great just to see this room full of people excited to see about the Kubeflow releases. This is really great. So our history has been really impressive. And doing that momentum with the LLMs and Gen AI, we're also surfing around those topics as well. And that's great. We're still visible in the AI space. We're still doing good things for the AI space. It's not only about the traditional components that we already do for MLOps, but also in the Gen AI space, right? Just to show some of our big history here, that's the table with the latest releases we had, starting with the 1.3. I'm sorry, but this is all I could do with the number of releases because we had a lot more. I think those are the most relevant releases we had. I was part of the Kubeflow 1.9 when we got in July 22, 1.9 released. And, well, the experience with doing Kubeflow releases was really great because it's always making difference with adding more and more features to the Kubeflow ecosystem, right? That's really great. But it's always good to talk about the past, but let's talk about the future. And I like that phrase that, well, you know, there are many variations of that, but I believe this is the most simplistic and objective the quote that I could make. So the future is now, right? We're talking about things that is happening today that will drive our future, okay? Awesome. With that, I am proud to announce Kubeflow 1.10. We released today the Kubeflow 1.10 ecosystem, and thank you. I think, well, the greatest thing I could say about 1.10 is that this is not an April Fool's joke, so it's real. It's not a lie. It's a real thing, right? I know that 50% of people are just trying to understand what did I just say. The other half wasn't aware that today is April Fool's, but that's okay. It all happens. Okay, so let's talk about 1.10. In Kubeflow 1.9, we introduced a new component called the model registry. In 1.10, we brought the new UI for model registry. So now you can see your models registered right in front of your dashboard, right? So there's an option now in the Kubeflow dashboard, central dashboard, where you can see the model registry, and then you can interact with your models, do some search, and take a look at the metadata around the model registry. Okay? Following on, we got a rename of an existing component. Training operator now becomes Kubeflow trainer, and we added a lot of features in Kubeflow trainer, especially on the LLM side. So we have some LLM blueprints. We engage with some features for LLM fine-tuning, as well as improving all other features we have already. With a new API, the V2 trainer API, we can get all of these features all together. One of the biggest things we did for Captive is the LLM hyperparameter tuning. This is just an architectural view of how the Captive hyperparameter tuning works. So now with Captive, you can do the same as you do with your traditional ML models, just like you do with our LLMs. Okay? Awesome. Spark Operator was donated to the Kubeflow ecosystem, but in 1.9, we didn't have the chance to engage with the Spark Operator team to make them available in the Kubeflow distribution. So now in 1.10, we are now offering Spark Operator as a core component. So if you want to enrich your Kubeflow ecosystem, now with Spark Operator 1.10, in Kubeflow 1.10, you can do deployments and include Spark Operator as a core component. One other good thing we did for 1.10 is that we improved security by enforcing PSS restricted profile in all of the components, or most of them. We're still working on some of them, but at least for the majority of the components we have under the Kubeflow ecosystem, we already have better security with the PSS restrictor profile, which is great. That's important for many companies that they care about security. You know? At last, I believe that's my last slide before I move to Valentina, is that we did some improvements in the pipelines. In the past releases, we are facing a lot of problems with the V1 versus V2 parity. Now, with Kubeflow pipelines 2.4.0, we have better feature parity between V1 and V2 with supporting parallelism in the loops, placeholder in resource limits. Now you can parameterize your resource limits directly in the pipeline. You don't need to hard code your values. And now the subdag output resolution is now fixed, right? Awesome. With that, I'm going to pass along to Valentina, because now, since she already mentioned, I am part of the release for 1.9 and 1.10. Now it's time to do a change in the release process. And now Valentina will represent the new release for 1.11. Valentina?
Thank you so much. Okay, can you hear me okay? Yeah. Perfect, thank you. So as any project, our website is critical for us. So each component that is part of Kubeflow, of course, is critical to achieve all the AI/ML lifecycle that we are looking for to use when we are using Kubeflow. But also when you think about, when you start looking and start with a technology, you start from the website, right? You want to learn about the technology, you want to know how to install it, you want to know about the examples, and also if you are a contributor, at least for me, that was my experience. It was my first contribution. So the website is really like this special place and a very important component that is part of our release process. And with that, I am proud to say that we do have a lot of changes. We don't have the time to go to all of them, but we want to do a shout out to Matthew Weeks, who couldn't make it, but he may be watching or something. He worked really hard on this dark side mod that brings more, a great user experience into the website. So check it out if you haven't done that yet. The other thing that we started looking into is how we can improve the contributors' experience and bringing software best practices into the website. So some of the things that were part of this release were looking into improving and doing like major updates into the technical documentation with the changes from training to trainer v2, but also bringing the model registry UI, we impacted that documentation, bringing these new features. We also look at how we can bring best practices by doing a cleanup. We really had to do a cleanup. We have like more than 100 PRs, so we went one by one and get it down to around 20 PRs that we have right now. The same we did with the issues. We have around 80 issues, and we got it down to 20 and 30. Why I'm talking about this? Because our community is important. Your contributions are important for us, and we are working hard on having more processes around this, so we don't have all this amount of PRs and issues there just sitting there. So because of that, we included stale scripts with notifications to help remind us that we need to look into those objects, but also to help the contributors to remind them, like, hey, you do have this PR that maybe you didn't have a review or something. The other thing that we did, we added new templates and PR for the PRs and the issues, and that was, I think it's a great experience for all of us. So if you want to start contributing, please check the website. The other thing I want to take the time is to give a shout out and thank you for everyone who has been contributing to this release. I'm proud of, have the chance to work with Ricardo, with Julius. I want to give a special thanks to Julius, who is sitting right there. He worked so hard on doing the release cuts and everything, amazing. And everyone here that is listed. So a lot of them are sitting here. So thank you so much. Another round of applause to them. Thank you. So with that, looking into the future, we are closing today, we are releasing today, as Ricardo said, 1.10. So you start thinking, okay, what about 1.11? When that will start, what will happen? So we realize as we are evolving and we are changing, we always focus on making things better. So we are working, there is a proposal at the bottom, and we need your feedback about updating the release process. Some of the things that we are looking for is to reduce the time to market on Kubeflow release. Right now, we are releasing every 6 months, so we are looking into reducing in a shorter time. The proposal is doing it per quarter, but also we are looking at improving the release team meetings updates. Instead of having like weekly meetings, we want weekly meetings, we want to do like bi-weekly, hopefully reduce the time as well, and also give that time back to the community so we can all contribute more to Kubeflow, as well as looking into technical documentation. As all communities, there is a challenge on when to do these technical documentations, because sometimes we focus on the source code, but what about, the rest of the technical documentation? So we are, if you want to contribute, we are also looking for, technical writers who maybe are interested in contribute, but also the next release manager. So if you want to contribute to this release, be part of the release team, or want to be the next release manager, please reach out. With that, I want to talk about the roadmap. We will have a meeting shortly in the next weeks with all the working groups to start discussing the roadmap features that will be part of the release. But I want to give you a glimpse of the roadmap, and this could be part of 1.11 or 1.12. But for example, for model registry, we are looking into the model storage. So model registry right now, it works with metadata. We are looking into also store the model by doing integrations with OCI and S3 as well. Looking into the model catalog, so a way of having this curated list of models where you can choose that are curated by your organization, as well as doing some UI improvements. You're probably familiar with the concept of model card that brings the summarized information from your model. This is a sort of README, so you can see that model information, but also the availability to deploy the model from that model registry, as well as looking from integrations with training. So when you use training and you have finished the training process, you could send that metadata back to the model registry. For pipelines, it's such an interesting project as well, pipelines 2.5. There are several improvements. We try to compress all of them, starting with security improvements, looking at image pool secrets, doing some upgrades on versions such as Argo 3.5, but also looking into version parities between the SDK and the backends. Right now, they don't have the same version. Looking at dynamic pipeline generation, so bringing some of the features that we had in version 1 to version 2. The notebooks 2.0, so it's looking into this concept of really bringing workspaces. The idea with this concept is simplifying the user experience. The idea is that the ML data scientist will go and it will work with the workspace, and just maybe with 2 or 3 clicks will be spin up this workspace. And then the MLOps engineer can go and also do the necessary setups behind the scenes. And in this case, we are ensuring that we have best practices set up, but also simplify experience for the end users. So now, what's next is, we already talked about this, but also I want to talk about specifically about the ML experience. The ML experience is a proposal that looks into all the different components of Kubeflow, and it's looking how we can improve all these experiences by looking into new interfaces, such as the Kubeflow SDK and many others. The group data as well is looking not only into data preparation and the data training, but also looking into the feature store. So we're looking into the SPAR, the model registry, and FIST specifically. FIST also has been an add-on of Kubeflow for many years, but we are looking, there is a proposal to bring in as part of the Kubeflow ecosystem. The Kubeflow SDK, the idea is to bring, again, connecting with that user experience, bringing that SDK that can use in order to reduce the complexity that sometimes we have when interacting with Kubernetes and all the different components in a more unified experience for the end users. And then the last one I spoke already, but it's the Helm charts, and it's how we can have a different mechanism to install and deploy Kubeflow by using Helm charts. And this is for the Kubeflow and also different components. And with that, we have many resources. Please get started with Kubeflow if you haven't, but also check out our website, join our community, and thank you so much for listening.
Thank you.